Hello, my name is Will, and I'm going to review Hardcore Henry. Now, what is Hardcore Henry about? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I mean, what I think it's about is, it's a first-person shooter. It's a movie in first-person shooter form. It's kind of like a found footage movie, except you're supposed to be that person. You're seeing through the eyes of that person. And this guy who was kind of just torn to pieces, like literally torn to pieces, is brought back to life as a cyborg by his wife and a few guys, and his wife is kidnapped by a telekinetic albino guy, and with the help of a man named Jimmy, Henry has to get his wife back. There were things I liked about this movie. First of all, it's directed fantastically. I mean, the choreography, the action, the way it's filmed is just absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's only heightened by the fact that it's in first person. Now, the screenwriting wasn't really that good. Like, there are no characters that are developed. Of course, Henry's not really going to be developed since he doesn't talk, much like many first-person shooter games, your main character doesn't talk. And you just don't get to know that many characters too well, and the villain is just one-dimensional. The wife is one-dimensional. But there's this one character who you actually do get to know pretty well, and his name is Jimmy. He's played by Sharlto Copley, who has always just fantastic. He's a very underrated actor, I think. He's great in every role that he's in. Now, just the fact that these characters aren't developed enough makes the screenwriting horrible. Like, you don't feel anything. And it's the way that the movie progresses is Jimmy comes, he gives directions to Henry, saying, you need to kill this guy to get this. And then Jimmy dies. He's kind of like a video game character, like the very character that, like, you get killed and you respawn. That's kind of his sort of character. Now, Jimmy tells him to do these things, and it's kind of like Simon Says, except Henry doesn't really have to do it. It's not like forcefully. Jimmy's helping him, and Jimmy is involved in the action scenes, which is really cool. Now, it's his wife. You don't really know anything about her, and this movie is just terribly predictable. And if you do want to see this movie, and you're like me, you like movies, if you like first-person shooter games a lot, you'll probably really enjoy this movie. I didn't think it was a bad movie, personally. I thought it was just fine. But the time that I'd recommend seeing this movie is just on a cold and rainy Sunday, and you've got nothing better to do, you know. It's a rental. I wouldn't recommend buying it, except if you love action movies. Now, I would give this movie a 2.5 out of 5. I mean, it's fine. You know, there are things about it that I liked, but there are things about it that I also did not like. Now, a question I do have about the movie, this does not spoil anything whatsoever. It's got Pilgrim vs. the World. There's just one character who's vegan, and he's got superpowers because he's vegan. Now, a question that I have is, are all albino people telekinetic in this movie? It's probably a no. It's a pretty stupid question, but it's just something that got me interested. I was thinking that the whole time. Like, are all albino people telekinetic? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click below to subscribe, and see you later.